Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Mac.
and today we're going to give our first impressions of Power Plants, and it's specifically the deluxe edition.
Wow, I didn't know this.
It is. I think it was like on Miniature Market. It was like $10 or $15 more.
What's
and it's
deluxeified?
I think those are wooden versus cardboard,
Oh.
which I think, to be fair, probably makes it.
Yeah. Makes it better
Yes.
than it would have been, yeah.
Yes. I don't think it. I guess I
That's
don't
rough.
have the retail
That's
version.
rough. Cardboard?
Yeah, I don't have it to compare, so I don't. I'm pretty sure it was cardboard. I may be wrong.
Just excuse us while we be bougie with our board games.
But
that cardboard sounds terrible.
yeah,
All right, continue
if
on.
it is cardboard, I would just not even look at the retail.
Bougie.
Yeah, go bougie on this one because if you can get it on Miniature Market, it wasn't that much more. So, yes. So this is a tile placement game along with kind of some area control aspects and just some various different things. It can play up to 5 players. We've only played it at 2.
Yep.
And honestly, I think that's the main way I'm going to want to play it. Maybe possibly 3 players. But to me, this is very much like a 5 Tribes feel, where for me, 5 Tribes, I really love the back and forth of a 2-player game versus any other player count in that one. It just makes the bidding in that one way more interesting, I think. And in this one, I think kind of with that area control aspect to it and just the way it's done in this game, I just feel like the going back and forth versus having multiple turns in between, so much could change and you have no real control. Whereas you can kind of plan a little bit ahead because it's like, well, the worst they can do is place 1 tile here. You kind of know what'll happen a little bit.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it brings together a lot of interesting aspects. I like the tile placement quite a bit, and I like that it doesn't necessarily matter how many things you have on the tiles to gain kind of the most influence and win that area control. You could potentially, I could have like 3 on one of the tiles, and you could have 1, and if that tile's the lower numbered tile, you would still win the total scoring or the higher scoring for the area. I do like how that works, and I just like that it has, 8 different, probably, so and they're double-sided, so like 16 different combinations or not combinations, but 16 different tile types you can use for their abilities and potential scoring. It just gives it a lot of variability, and I'm assuming a lot of the games are going to feel very different. I played this 3 times, you just played it once, and I felt like all 3 of them felt very different, tried to use different tiles each time, so I thought the variability was there.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, though. I'm not a big fan of area control games just because there's so much to consider. Like, area control games to me are like chess, where they're like those, what's the word I'm looking for?
Abstract
Yes,
strategy?
abstract strategy. So for me, it's hard to kind of figure these out because, like you said, like you might have more people on the tile, but if I have at least 1 on a lower tile, then I win that grouping or whatever, and that just I cannot position myself for something like that. And then you throw in all these different aspects of it, and then it's like, okay, well, if you play the wizard here, then you can either take the tile aspects in front of you, or you can take the tile that you just laid, and so there's all these things. But I think it does a good job at what it does, because I don't hate it, right? Like, so if it was terrible and I don't feel like I can even manage the abstract portion according to my brain, I would be like, no. But I feel like it does do a good job. It gives you like that quick little sheet that helps you kind of think it through. And
Yeah, if it didn't,
after more plays, I feel like it could get easier. But
If it didn't have that sheet, I think
Yeah.
it would be almost impossible to play.
I think that would be difficult. I thought that the tiles were really cool, like the components that we have. I thought because there's a rule that you have to like slide the tiles in, and I thought that was just a little bit confusing because they say you have to slide it in, but in reality, the way the tiles are shaped, like you can only really slide it in up to until a certain point, but technically it's still a slide in. So it was hard because some tiles allow you to move other tiles, and so it's important that you know what's slidable and what's not.
Right.
And so they're just little things where I just thought, it could have been just a little more. But
Yeah.
that's coming from a girl who probably doesn't rate these very highly to begin with. But for me to say that it wasn't bad, I feel like it is a win. Even though you probably won't see it as that way. Because if I don't, like, fall over myself for a game, you're sad. But
No, that's totally fine.
what
And
did you think when you bought this, knowing that I'm probably not big on area control?
I was hoping it would be one that you would like because it would just be 2 players mostly.
Yeah.
So I had planned when I got it. I had planned on it mainly being a 2-player game because it just from reviews that I've heard, it sounds like 4 and 5 is just kind of
I bet that's
Wild
just
Wild West.
straight chaos.
Yeah, it's just kind of luck of the draw, Wild Wild West style. So that I was like, maybe she'll like it because it'll only be 2 players, a little bit back and forth. You have a little more control. I think that might be one thing that you don't typically like is when it feels like you don't have that much control.
Mm-hmm.
So at least this. I mean, there's times.
Where my type A people at? You get me.
Right. But yeah, you have mostly you've got some control outside
Yeah.
of sometimes the tiles.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just keep drawing
Mm-hmm.
one. You might want like a specific one, and you might just not be able to get it. That
It's
could
nice
happen,
'cause
but
it's got
overall,
that trade mechanism in it
Yeah.
too. So, which I thought was good.
yeah. But yeah, I think by far the best thing you named is by far the best mechanism is you either take a stronger action of the tile you just played, or a weaker action of all the ones that the tile you just played is touching. So you also don't want to set your opponent up and have them touching like 4 different things, and that's where that slide things comes into play. Is you can't get you can't like pop it in the middle of something
Yeah.
or have it activate. It must be 5
Mm-hmm.
because it's 1 tile difference
Yeah.
is when it's like a
Unslidable.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get up to like 4. Typically, you don't want to let your opponent do that. Typically, but I may have done that.
It only let
I
me
know from experience.
win my first game, so I'm not mad about it.
I didn't really think about it, but that was a game
Yeah.
where we did play with one of the sliding tiles, and it allowed you to kind of maneuver a really good one in there, and that was not good
I
for
got
me.
to use it multiple times because I think I had gotten one that let me benefit for every person on surrounding tiles, and then I was able to move your tile away from your grouping. It was so satisfying and evil, which is why these area control games are just hard for me.
There's a cutthroat
You took it
nature
with
to
grace, but I probably would have been like, well, now I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that is one thing that you need to know going into it. There is a potential cutthroat piece to it. So
not
if you
so bad that
really
you'll
don't
die,
like that
but-
at all, I would probably stay away from the game just
Yeah.
because it's just going to happen because it almost is
It's how
designed.
it's designed.
It's designed to work that way. So,
Yeah.
and I think most area control
You
games
wouldn't
are
let
designed to work that way.
You wouldn't let an opponent just have points because you just don't want to move them. When you have the ability to move them, you're going to and you should move them because that's what the
Right.
point of the game is.
So, yeah, I this one after 3 games, I would give it like an 8 or 8.25 probably. I liked it quite a bit. I like these types of games, especially it just feels like a back and forth tug of war type thing for different pieces of the board, and like you said, the components in this version at least are top notch, so that just adds to the experience as well.
Yeah.
And it's also a very quick game.
Yeah, it was
So-
pretty quick.
Those
things
things all
considered.
combined just make it a really good experience.
Yeah, I'd probably give it like a 5 or a 6, just like on like the BGG chippy scale type thing if I had to. Kind of take it or leave it. Could play it if in the mood, but not probably something I'm going to ask to play.
You don't think you'd want to play this in a 3-player game with me and Pepper?
I mean, I would play if you asked, but depending on if, I wasn't tired or if it wasn't like 12 a.m., all these things that go into it.
I just didn't know if you'd want to play with us, because I feel like you've played a game of Catan, or
Yeah.
not Catan, Carcassonne
That's
with
true.
us.
Carcassonne.
And it's kind of,
I forgot.
it's not the same, but
I had
it's got a
blacked
similar
out.
vibe.
I had like suppressed my memories of that trauma. So now that you bring it up, I don't know that. No, I'm not playing this with you and Jesse. That's a no.
But it's mainly us going up against each other, and you're just
I
caught in
know.
the crossfire.
I'm just like salvaging the wreckage here, which is fine, I guess, until you turn it on me.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want a closer look at the components, we'll have an unboxing video. So definitely check that out, especially if you're looking to see what at least this deluxe version. I don't know if the Kickstarter version had even more stuff, but this was a deluxe version off of Miniature Market. So you can check out that video to see if it looks like something interesting to you. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next video. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.